Hello and welcome. You're watching Iron Port, where we bring Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. Iron Port is made possible by Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. The program is powered by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Viewers, in this week's edition of Iron Port, we turn our focus to a critical conversation on how to avoid lower back pain at the workplace. We know that in the port sector and the wider shipping and logistics sector, lower back pain remains one of the common health challenges. And this week we had a conversation. We sat with an orthopedic surgeon from the International Maritime Hospital who unpacked what some of the causes of lower back pain are and how to avoid them. This is an excerpt of the conversation. Take a listen.
So let's take a look at the types of work in the port and shipping environment commonly that leads to back pain.
Yeah. Yes. So, there are a variety of work schedules which I've come to, learn that goes on at the port. This include, people who either sit for prolonged periods, the truck drivers, crane operators, and even those who work on the ground itself.
Yes.
They are exposed to either prolonged standing or having to walk for prolonged periods, whilst undertaking their duties. Another aspect is where you have people who have to lift some type of, cargo or, be it using machinery or, even lifting with their hands.
Yes.
And these are some of the workers who are exposed.
Yeah, because that was going to be my next question. How repetitive lifting, container stuffing or unstuffing, and heavy manual handling contribute to back injuries at the ports?
Yes. So the human body was made to move, and therefore, if you either sit at the same place for a long time, a long period, without any movement, you tend to have some stress on your back. Regarding the work that is done at the port, you realize that sometimes these are people who are using machinery, and the machines are not stable.
Yes.
So they keep moving up and down. There's a bit of vibration.
Yes.
In the course of their work. And this, eventually, if you do this for some period without, proper medical, involvement,
yes,
you might get to a point where, you start getting low back pain.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So these heavy lifting, equipment, driving, sitting down for prolonged periods, exposes one to, the possibility of developing lower back pain. Yeah.
And that includes the drivers, crane operators, forklift operators,
yes,
and all of the other people who handle movable
exactly,
in the ports.
as well as those who even work on the ground.
Right.
The supporting crew that work on the ground.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mentioned vibration. How does vibration contribute to
all right. So in the anatomy of the spine, you have a chain of bones.
Yes.
That constitute the spine.
Right.
And in between this chain of bones, I believe God in His wisdom put something we called shock absorbers, or it functions as shock absorbers.
Yes.
These are called intervertebral discs, and these help to absorb the shock of one bone compressing on the other.
Yes.
Over a period of time, if you're working in this environment where there's this vibration, the use of machinery and all that, it gets to a point where just like any other material, wear and tear sets in. So these shock absorbers become undergo some form of degeneration.
Yes.
And and therefore the way they function becomes affected, and this subsequently leads to the some changes in the spine that causes the low back pain. Yes. There are some joints within the spine as well, and as these shock absorbers, degenerate,
right,
a lot more forces is applied through the joints that hold the spine together.
Yes.
And therefore, if you are working in such an environment and you don't manage yourself well, then you put more stress on these joints, and they also undergo degeneration. Subsequently, you start getting problems with your lower back. Yes.
Now on the market is a machine they call a massager. I have bought one. You stand on it, and then basically it vibrates. Yes, and the limit. Okay, you can limit it to whatever time you prefer.
Yeah.
But what is as it were, they have calibrated on the machine is 10 minutes.
Yes.
You can reduce it or you can up it.
Yeah.
Can that contribute to?
I'm sure there is some benefits to the use of such machines.
Yes.
It helps vibrate your in fact virtually your entire body.
Yes, and, absolutely. That's what it is.
I've used one before.
Okay.
If you don't do it frequently, the first time you stand on it, yes, you realize that sometimes you get some itchiness around your feet.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, this helps to improve blood flow to your legs.
Right.
However, I'm sure the vibrations are not as strong as what the people who operate these machines experience, or even the truck drivers.
So it's safe to
yes,
go with
yes,
the
yes.
massager.
I think it is safe. It is it's fairly safe.
Okay.
Yes.
And we also find people. In fact, yesterday, for instance, I was watching social media, and then I saw a man carrying a vehicle engine, a big vehicle engine. They just put it at the back of his neck, and he was moving.
Yes. So I don't know his age, but I said earlier on, like, just like you buy a brand new car,
yes,
everything works perfect, but then over a period of time, things wear and tear sets in.
Yes.
So this individual, yes, may think that at this age he's quite strong and he can do all that, but as he gets older, it will affect him.
Yes.
It will affect him. And therefore, it is very important that we know how to manage and carry weight around.
Yes.
A lot of people are unaware of this, and they will not get the effect immediately, but as they get older, definitely.
Yeah, and still on social media, you find somebody, my strength is too much. The fellow is standing in between two cars, and they should like press him.
Yes,
and then they do, and he's like,
yes. So it's once again has to do with people testing their strength and wanting to know, but at the time they may not feel anything. We may come to realize in the discussion as we go on that ways to prevent or ways to avoid getting these kind of low back pains is, in fact, if you have to engage in such activity, it's better to push rather than to pull.
Right.
Because then once you try pulling, the resultant effect goes to your lower back. Yes. The muscles there are quite powerful, and eventually you may suffer the consequence if you don't handle yourself very well. Yes.
Now, in terms of with respect to dock workers and cargo handlers in the port, they deal basically, as we are aware, with heavy loads.
Yeah.
How are they going to be able to prevent, getting lower back pain? Is there any skill or any way they can go about their duties normally without necessarily opening themselves up to lower back pain?
Yeah. So it is important for those who, for example, sit for long hours, that after a period of time, you need to get up and then do some stretching, exercises. In fact, even before you start, you need to do some stretching exercises, of the muscles of the back. As you have seen in, players who play football.
Yes.
Before they get subbed, the player coming in will have to do some warm up.
Yeah.
It is important to, improve blood flow to the muscles, and in this case, muscles of the back. So if you do some stretching exercise, you help relax the muscles, you improve blood flow and all that before you go and sit and expose or subject your back to these stresses. If you do that, yes, then it helps you to prevent, getting low back pain. But if you just get up, you go and sit on the machine, you start working, obviously over a period of time, you start getting low back pain. Yes. It is, some institutions in other places have, what they call, some breaks during the work period. And then everybody gathers, they go and stretch out, do some exercises, before going back to resume their work. These are some measures that can be taken. So individually, yes, you can do your own stretches and things before you start your work. Then collectively becomes the responsibility of management to make sure that there are these breaks, for people to be able to, get some time to release stress from their back, and then they go back to work, and that helps eventually.
Right. So that means that for those who the crane operators, forklift operators, and the drivers, the truck drivers in the port, and all those things, when they sit in that position for a while, they would have to get up, stretch, do the back exercises or whatever exercise there is before they continue.
Yes. And that advice is, is even given to truck drivers. Sometimes we hear that, they are tired, you don't have to drive, which is true, but more importantly, because they are long journey drivers, it's not only when you are tired or you are feeling sleepy.
Yes.
After driving for a while, you need to stop. Maybe 2-4 hours, you need to stop and walk around.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes.
What time do you consider long enough?
Yes.
Or okay for the fellow to have a break, maybe a 5-minute break before continuing?
Yes. I've not come about any specified time, but I think it can be individualized.
Right.
As well as, if you are traveling for like 4 hours, sitting down for 4 hours, I think it's quite a long enough period for you to stop and get down, stretch your legs, get some exercise, walk around your vehicle, do some checks, before you continue. I know that the crane operators, or I'm informed through my interactions with some of them, that once they climb the crane, sometimes it's a bit, you have to stay up there until your shift is over. It's quite a prolonged period, and it is advised that after a while, you have to at least get out, get down, and climb the stairs, or use the lift. But at least walk out around, some 15 minutes break, come and stretch your legs, and that helps. It helps a lot. Yes,
right.
It helps a lot.
Now, is it only these physical activities that, or sitting at one place for a long time, that brings about lower back pain, or there might be other causes?
Indeed. It's not just sitting around. There are other causes. Like lifting, and this may even happen at home.
Right.
Yes. If you have some packages you want to pack or move from one, part to another. Yes. The other thing, even for those who work in the offices, these days we use swivel chair a lot.
Yes.
And sometimes, you are working on a desk, you want to turn and, pick something. If you are not careful, yes, you may get some injury.
Right.
Yes, either to the muscle or to this shock absorbers I spoke about earlier.
Yes.
And this may happen suddenly, and you realize that, I was so fine, I came to work, all of a sudden I have some severe back pain and I can't even stand up from my chair. So yes, there are other causes for such issues. The other thing is for people who don't exercise. Yes, you make yourself prone to developing lower back pain if you find yourself in such an environment. So we advise people to exercise frequently.
Regularly?
Yes, besides this recommendation of getting some period, whilst at work. You need to exercise yourself, have a regular schedule of exercise to help you avoid some of these things. On a few occasions, certain lifestyle changes or modifications have also been recommended. People who smoke, people who drink a lot. Yes, it's known that these things tend to affect your body's ability to heal and repair. And so, if you do this, even minor injuries that should not ideally cause any serious issue may end you with such a problem, and then you need to come see us. Right.
With respect to exercise, there may seem to be some exercise positions that opens one up to lower back pain. Is that right?
Yes. So, depending on which muscle groups you want to work on, and the type of exercise that will be prescribed, yes. But and that will usually be done in a hospital setting, or when you have a physiotherapist who will then take you through these exercises and give you the advice on what you need to do. But besides that, the general thing, try to keep yourself fit. If you can jog, that's fine. If you can't and you just go for a walk, that is fine. You can do some back stretches, yes, and all these things help. If you are unsure of what to do, of course, at International Maritime Hospital, we have a very good physiotherapy unit. You can come in there. You'll be given some advice. You'll be taken through, exercises that you can do. Yes, and at least then it helps you to prevent or even to manage should it happen.
Right.
So viewers, that was an insightful piece from Dr. Jamna, who is an orthopedic surgeon from the International Maritime Hospital. Remember, what you just watched is the abridged version. There's a full conversation with more information if you watch the full video that you can find on our YouTube channel at YILPORT. It is now time to hear a few of your comments, questions, thoughts that you shared with us during the live discussion. After, we'll go on break and then return with more news. Stay tuned.
Issy, an HR officer, says, what simple changes or policies can companies make or put in place at the workplace to reduce back pain among staff?
They come to us, we assess them, and when we think that it's from bad sitting habit, we sometimes add the reports, to their HR, where at least they then get their chairs changed for them, But just the change of chair, once the back pain is there, may not suffice, and so some medical therapy, including the physio, will be recommended as well.
Right. Yeah.
Kojo, a crane operator from Tema, says, hi doc, thank you for doing this with YILPORT. I'm enjoying this. I sit almost the whole shift. What is the best sitting position to protect my lower back, and can you please demonstrate?
I've had a couple of crane operators who come, and in fact their issue is more of their neck.
Right.
Yes. And so I inquired, and they were like, when you use the crane to pick the container, you have to stretch your neck to look for where to put it.
Right. Okay.
And so it's just by the very nature of their work. They put strain on their neck and their back. Yes. Ideally, yes, you have to sit with your back straight, if that is so.
Yes.
And I don't know if they will be able to get, say, maybe a screen.
Right.
That will help them to, that they don't have to stretch to look down, but at least sitting straight, back straight, and then looking at the screen, they will be able to guide and judge where to, drop the container.
Absolutely.
That should help.
Right.
Good energy brings you quality choices with Goil Super XP. Available in many Goil stations nationwide. It is fortified with special additives that help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Branch into a Goil station today and energize your ride with Goil Super XP, compatible with most vehicles. Goil Super XP, Wufilia, huh? Wubefi. Goil, good energy. Yeah, yeah.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Yeah. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Welcome to today's edition of Serene Insurance Business News. We present to you Serena.
You're right. You can complete an entire insurance process for the purchase of any motor and other insurance products, from onboarding to issuing a motor insurance sticker and policy certificate, all on WhatsApp in less than 10 minutes. Serena is simple to use and it prioritizes user ease and flexibility. You can either use voice notes or text to effortlessly issue your instant policy, cross-platform renewals, claims, and also process your payments through mobile money, Visa, and MasterCard. To engage Serena, just search for Serena Insurance on all social media handles and scan the Serena barcode or save her number 0500 517 114 and start chatting her on WhatsApp immediately.
There you have it. Serena is not just a tool, it's an innovation by Serene Insurance designed to redefine how motor and travel insurance are accessed and managed. Speed, convenience, and reliability.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
At Phoenix Insurance, we make the unpredictable predictable and the uncertain certain with our range of products, including motor insurance, fire insurance, engineering insurance, marine insurance, accident insurances, and all types of bonds. We have you covered. We also support you with risk management advice to enable you stay focused on your business. Take a policy with Phoenix Insurance today. We help you rise from adversity stronger and more secure. Contact us on 0302 246319 or 0302 246644 or any of our branches, agencies, and brokers spread across the nation. You can as well connect with us on our WhatsApp chatbot. FIBA is waiting to assist you. Make the future predictable with Phoenix Insurance. Phoenix Insurance, a delightful service experience delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back, viewers. Another busy week in our ports and maritime sector. Let's have a look at some of the events that transpired.
Ghana has recorded a significant milestone in its maritime and extractive industries with the successful berthing of the largest bulk carrier ever to dock at the port of Takoradi. The 300,000 metric tons Cape-size vessel MVCSB was formally inaugurated and welcomed on Tuesday, 29th January 2026 through a joint effort by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Ghana Manganese Company, and COSCO Shipping Lines. The vessel's arrival aligns with Ghana Manganese Company's ambitious target to achieve 10 million tons of manganese production and exports by 2026. This is expected to significantly increase bulk shipment volumes through the port of Takoradi, boost GPHA's export revenues, and contribute to Ghana's foreign exchange earnings. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony, the Director of Port of Takoradi, Captain James Richmond Quison, said the successful berthing of the vessel confirms the port's enhanced capacity following years of strategic investment.
Our investment in the port facility is yielding the right results. But management of GPHA is not our will to be shipping all, but we want to see the refinery come to light. Port of Takoradi, through GPHA management center, we are ready to deliver 24 hours.
The Deputy Managing Director of Ghana Manganese Company, Son Yuan-Wei, described the berthing as a transformational moment for Ghana's mining logistics.
The arrival of the Manifesto CSP years, the largest bulk carriers ever to dock at any port in West Africa, marks a new era, not only for GMC, but for all our region's maritime and mining industries as a whole.
The president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Nana Kobina Nketia V, called for sustained investment in rail infrastructure and closer alignment between port expansion and regional development planning to maximize the economic benefits of such projects.
We can do it if we set our minds to it. We can. You know, if the port is going to be stretched all the way to Sekondi, who wouldn't be happy? But then we also must reconstruct or restructure the city so that it fits, the port fits in or it fits into the port. Either way.
The leadership of YILPORT Holdings has paid a strategic working visit to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, as both parties seek to strengthen their partnership and reposition the port of Takoradi as a modern and efficient gateway for Ghana's Western Corridor. Discussions centered on addressing the terminal's slow start to business, unlocking new cargo opportunities, and aligning long-term development plans under the concession arrangement. Speaking during the engagement, Chairman of YILPORT Holdings, Robert Yildirim, reaffirmed the company's commitment to a phased and sustainable development approach for Takoradi Port, including infrastructure expansion, Western Corridor rail development, and the construction of the inland logistics terminal at Buankra. He stressed that YILPORT's operating philosophy is to ensure complementarity between Takoradi and Tema rather than competition to elevate Ghana's overall logistics and maritime competitiveness.
So Takoradi was a substitution and a game changer in the Ghana's future, and we think that we can turn around the Takoradi to make the second biggest and most effective port. And we will do this step by step.
The GPHA delegation was led by Board Chairman Johnson Asiedu Nketia and Director General Major General Paul Seidu Tanya-Kulonu. The Board Chair of GPHA said insights from his earlier visit to Turkey had helped identify operational bottlenecks and reaffirmed GPHA's readiness to work closely with YILPORT to ensure the concession delivers mutual benefits.
These three projects, none of them can be successful in isolation. So if we can find a way of pushing through the three as the Western Corridor multimodal transport system, it may be useful.
Major General Tanya-Kulonu reiterated that under the current government, Ghana remains committed to supporting YILPORT to deliver effective solutions and accelerate growth of the Takoradi port.
With the presence of Chairman here today, we hope that things can turn around, because Takoradi has more potentials. It also has a shorter route from Takoradi to the Sahelian countries as compared to moving from here to the Sahelian countries.
A delegation from the Russia University of Transport has also paid a working visit to the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to explore areas of strategic cooperation. The delegation was received by the General Manager for Marketing and Corporate Affairs, Dr. Kingsley Enchiboesiako, together with other members of GPHA management. Discussions during the meeting focused on potential partnerships in logistics and transport development, as well as training and capacity building initiatives for ports and transport professionals.
We want Russia and Ghana to cooperate more. We want more people to study and work because we started a project with business partners.
The engagement forms part of GPHA's broader efforts to deepen international partnerships, enhance human capital development, and drive innovation across Ghana's ports and transport sector.
The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA), in collaboration with the World Customs Organization (WCO), has marked the 2026 International Customs Day with a commemorative ceremony in Accra. The event, held on Monday, January 2026, was celebrated under the global theme "Customs Protecting Society through Vigilance and Commitment," which brought together stakeholders including former commissioners of customs, regional and national sector commanders, representatives from the Free Zones Authority, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, the Narcotics Control Commission (NACOC), other public sector institutions, as well as industry players from the trading community. The annual celebration provided an opportunity for Ghana's Customs Division to reflect on its mission, review its achievements, and outline strategies aimed at strengthening operations to meet emerging global trade and security challenges. Chairman for the occasion, Major General Carl Modi, retired, underscored the critical role of customs officers in protecting national security and facilitating legitimate trade. He commended officers for their vigilance and commitment, noting that their work remains vital to safeguarding society and sustaining economic growth.
Let us therefore this morning critically examine what we are doing well, areas requiring improvements or innovations at all levels, as well as how well we sell our story in order to determine the way forward within the current prevailing environment.
In his address, the Secretary General of the World Customs Organization, in a speech delivered by the Commissioner of Customs, Brigadier General Glover Ashon Annan, called for enhanced collaboration between customs administrations and key stakeholders. He emphasized that strong partnerships are essential to ensuring border security, protecting public safety, building institutional capacity, and effectively prioritizing national interest while delivering on the customs mandate.
The Customs Division's commitment to protecting revenue and supporting national development is exhibited by preventing revenue loss and the mobilization of sufficient resources to fund government social services and infrastructure. The core values of the authority evidently affirm teamwork as a fundamental pillar in our service. Therefore, we should deepen collaboration with our stakeholders to ensure border security and public safety. Such collective efforts strengthen our capacity to effectively prioritize the states and deliver on our mandate.
Representing the Minister for Finance, Dr. Kazel Atoforsen, the Deputy Minister for Finance and Member of Parliament for the Sujaman constituency, Honorable Thomas Nyako Ampem, reaffirmed the government's commitment to empowering the Customs Division. He pledged increased support through investments in modern infrastructure and advanced technology to enhance revenue mobilization, trade facilitation, and national security.
Customs remains central to Ghana's safety. That said, I need to emphasize that protecting society is not the responsibility of customs alone. It requires strong partnerships across government institutions, security agencies, international organizations, the private sector, the civil society. We at the Ministry of Finance are determined to empower you to safeguard our nation's security and economy.
In his closing remarks, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Anthony Kwesi Sapon, reiterated the authority's resolve to continuously protect society while efficiently mobilizing revenue for national development. He assured stakeholders of GRA's commitment to professionalism, integrity, and innovation in carrying out its duties.
Then we are being called upon to be watchful and to do the things we do every day with passion and repeatedly. And when we do that together as customs officers, together as GRA, we will be protecting society, we will be fulfilling our mandate of raising revenue, and ultimately fulfill our mandate of national development.
The celebration also featured a panel discussion involving key stakeholders, focusing on contemporary customs challenges and solutions. In a related development, outstanding customs officers who demonstrated exceptional performances across various customs collection and commands nationwide were honored with award in recognition of their dedication and service.
Let us now take our lenses to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime related news. Northern Lights, a joint venture between Shell, Equinor and Total Energies, is expanding its fleet with 4 new liquid carbon dioxide transport vessels through charter agreements with Mystery OSK Lines and a K-Line MISC consortium. The new vessels, each with a cargo capacity of 12,000 cubic meters, will be built by DSOC and HD Hyundai Heavy Industries and delivered between the second half of 2028 and the first half of 2029. The expansion supports Northern Lights' role in providing cross-border carbon dioxide transport and storage services for European industrial emitters as part of wider decarbonization efforts. The additional capacity aligns with the JV's plan to scale transport and storage operations to more than 5 million tons of carbon dioxide annually, building on its initial fleet delivered under Norway's Longship project. The Royal Navy has introduced stricter alcohol consumption limits for personnel aboard ships, requiring sailors to abstain from alcohol at least 2 days per week and capping weekly intake at 14 units, about 6 pints of beer, to improve health and operational readiness. Officials say the new policy, replacing the old 2-can rule, responds to concerns from military medical advisors about excessive drinking impacting performance and safety. Sailors must now record their drinks aboard ship, and pubs are encouraged to offer non-alcoholic options, though some worry the measures could hurt morale. The updated guidelines reflect wider efforts within naval forces to tighten alcohol policies in a safety-critical environment at sea. Let us now take our Word of the Day segment that introduces you to words, phrases, jargons, and terminologies that we often use in this industry so you can get familiar with them. Today, we'll tell you what we mean when we say armada. An armada is a fleet of warships, especially one equipped for a large-scale military operation. In maritime and naval usage, the term denotes a coordinated concentration of vessels deployed to project power, deter threats, or support strategic objectives at sea. Our health and safety tip of the week is next.
Roof anchors. Roof anchors are engineered attachment points installed on rooftops to secure personal fall protection systems. They provide a secure tie-off point for safety harnesses and lifelines, creating a structural connection between a worker's harness and the building. Roof anchors are typically made from steel or aluminium and include components like a steady base and a strong tie-off point.
It is now time to take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berthed in the ports of Tema, Takoradi, at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. So that's all, folks. This is where we end this week's edition of YILPORT. And as usual, we hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all YILPORT content can be found on our YouTube channel, YILPORT. Subscribe, like, and share our videos. Thank you for watching.